Hey, I'm Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking,
Raking?
breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
It's the winter, Steve. We're past the fall. We're not raking anymore.
I lost my breath. I could not Joe Branton the Inner Circle. That would never work for us.
Other podcasts. We don't want to promote other podcasts.
I didn't mention another podcast.
He's
I
a
mentioned
host.
another person.
He's a host of another podcast.
Do you think if you Google
now everyone's gonna go listen to the Guitar Nerds now instead of listening to 60 Cycle Hum. I told you not to mention other podcasts because of that.
I have a question. To ask Google.
So close to hitting you, Steve.
What?
I'm just gonna hit you so hard.
You know, if you Google,
what if I started physically abusing Steve on the show?
If you Google
instead of just off the mic like I normally do,
that name,
yeah,
that podcast does not come up on the first page of Google results.
That's a little sad. I mean, if you Google our names, I'm sure. I mean, that makeup dude comes up for me.
His
every
Twitter
time.
does. His TC Electronic Artist. Oh, I guess that like connects him to it, but
yeah, you could figure out who Joe Branton is pretty quick.
Oh yeah, if you Google my name, the CEO of Marks and Spencer comes up.
Whoa!
I don't know what that is.
Big business.
Businessman.
Put that on your LinkedIn.
Also,
Steve.
the founder of the Christian death metal band Mortification.
Don't know anything about them.
Apparently, there's some guy also in San Diego who works for the YMCA or something.
We are starting this episode off 100% off topic. This is a guitar podcast, by the way.
Hey,
y'all. Oh, we forgot to do the call out for Christmas songs last week.
Oh, I guess we're not getting any.
Yeah, I guess. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone who's listening
Christmas
to this.
Eve drop. Hope you're getting something good.
I guess we're not.
Hopefully you're listening to this during your Christmas dinner.
I hope so. I guess we're not doing a Christmas songs episode this year.
Hey guys, send us your New Year's Eve's themed songs.
Send us your Easter songs.
Yeah.
There's enough time for us to do something with those.
Ryan, what's new, Ryan?
There's a chance of people listening to this episode is lower than probably all our other episodes just because this is Christmas Eve. No one's at work. No one's doing their normally scheduled stuff.
I actually might be working on Christmas Eve.
I'm definitely working Christmas Eve.
Do you work for yourself? That's different.
I know. It means I never stop.
But it also
on Christmas.
But it also means you can stop whenever you want.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. Yeah, I can never stop. Because if I stop, then the money stops coming. Do you have anything new, Steve, for this Christmas Eve episode?
Yeah,
I feel like we should have sleigh bells or something, or some decorations at least. We got nothing. This guitar is kind of Christmassy. It's got sparkly and red. I don't have any green on it or green guitars to.
Oh wow, you can actually see the plywood through the finish on the sides.
Can you really?
Yeah.
No.
If you catch the light just right, you can.
No, dude, it's on the top too. Did you notice that? There's a cardboard texture to the entire finish. Feel it with your hand.
That's weird.
It looks like they put this guitar in between two pieces of cardboard while the paint was still soft.
No, but
it's on the sides too.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they did that.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. The episode is fully off the rails at this point.
Is it too late to start over?
Yes.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
So we got that guitar from a listener. You probably saw it in a video or two.
I've done 2 videos of it so far, maybe more by this point.
It's different. It's like both like a lot of fun, but also like weird. Like it's like it's a Strat, but it's like
it's the cheapest feeling, most jacked up piece of garbage guitar that's also completely playable in a fun, weird way that I've ever encountered.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like it
was both like a lot of fun, and I was like, oh, this is like probably cheaper than I would expect a guitar of this quality to cost, but also
guitars you win from the carnival that have like the Superman logo printed on them have less weird things going on than this guitar, but then don't play.
I've actually seen this guitar at the carnival.
Okay, it's a carnival guitar.
This brand.
It's a carnival guitar.
At like the Del Mar Fair or whatever.
You you knock over the bottles, the milk bottles, and you win this guitar.
Well, you
throw
knock
a
over
basket you throw a ball through the basket.
Yeah, you put the basket through the ball.
I don't know sports, Steve. I don't know what you guys do with your balls.
Even jockstrap.
Basketballs fit in jock straps.
Ah, man. So what's new, man? Or am I doing what's new? Or
You're doing what's new. I
what's
what's new is we got that guitar in.
My what's new is I bought a vinyl, a record, a vinyl album.
A record?
A vinyl album? Record?
What
record album?
Do you have a record player, Steve?
I don't.
Uh-oh.
But I saw...
You're just going to hang it on the wall and look at it?
I saw Ariel Lavigne's Let the Record Get It in that green vinyl, and I was like, that looks
You mean Let the
cool.
Machine Get It?
Oh, is it Let the Machine Get It? I don't know.
It is a record.
I don't have it yet. Yeah.
Oh, you ordered it.
I ordered it.
Cool.
In the green plastic, the green vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks super cool. I'm looking forward to receiving it someday, hopefully. Said there was like 20 left when I ordered it.
Ariel is the rhythm / second lead guitarist in my band.
Yeah, and I'm wondering.
And then he's got this solo project, and then he's in all sorts of like tribute bands.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is like the super rich Stevist thing that I do.
To buy a record that you don't have the ability to
buying
play?
record. Like, am I going to just start buying records because they look cool?
I have a phonograph. If you want to borrow it, it needs a new needle. It's the phonograph from the Park Gallery.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure you can just
plug it. It was like
a
decent one too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cheap.
Oh, okay.
But it worked. I mean, it worked.
Oh.
But it needs a new needle. The needle is busted off.
I would also need to acquire something to play it with.
Computer speakers is what I use.
I don't have computer speakers. My computer has its own speakers, man.
I'm saying you can buy computer speakers. They're like $20. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't stress out.
Yeah.
I'm offering to give you a phonograph.
Okay. All right.
I'm never going to ask for it back, Steve.
Okay, cool. I'm in.
It's upstairs. I'll grab it for you before you leave.
So the super rich Stevest thing to do is to buy vinyl until somebody gifts you a record player. And also, are you expecting any music-related gifts this Christmas?
Gifts?
Yes.
Well, isn't this going to be our...
No, this is separate from our topic.
I don't... Well, I'm doing a Secret Santa sort of thing.
Oh, the Inner Circle one or a different one? Okay. Yeah.
So
I need to ship mine out soon.
I need to ship mine out tomorrow.
Which, of course,
I mean, this is Christmas Eve. 2 weeks ago.
Give me that bottle opener.
Yeah, I need to ship mine out ASAP. Did you figure out what you were going to give?
Nope.
I think I know what I'm
I need to look through all my pedals still.
That'd be a good gift.
Should probably just give away something that isn't even mine. Is something that is podcast.
Watch, Steve has me as a Secret Santa, and he's going to give me something from the demo pile.
I found the Matthews Architect V2 in my pile. I forgot that was there. I thought I gave it back to you already.
Nope. I gave it to you so you could mess around with it on bass. Did you ever mess with it on bass?
I think I did, but I don't have a bass board anymore.
Oh.
I need to put one together.
So what are you asking? You're asking if I'm expecting to get music style gifts for Christmas? I'm not expecting to get anything for Christmas. I've got 2 kids now. I'm expecting everyone in my friends and family circle to give gifts to my children.
Why would I give gifts to your children?
I'm saying if you give gifts at all, that's what I'm expecting. Like if you guys came over for like a Christmas party, like you would buy.
Are you throwing a Christmas party this year?
I don't think so. You would buy gifts for your children to give gifts to my children, sort of thing. Like I'm at the stage in my life where Christmas is for the kids. Like I don't want to get anything.
That's true.
Like, leave me out of it.
I'm throwing this out there because I bought my wife concert tickets.
Oh,
have you ever played at the Ironic?
No.
Apparently it is or used to be a church in like North Park.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've looked at pictures of the inside of it, and I was like, they do concerts here?
Give me 3 different bands that your wife would want to see, and one of them will be the band playing, and I'll guess which one it is.
3 different bands that my wife would want to see.
I'm assuming Hanson wouldn't play at the Ironic.
They would not.
Too small, right?
And that's the problem is I'm trying to think of bands that are small enough to play at the Ironic. But I think if I name off bands, it's just gonna be a crapshoot for you.
All right, just tell me what bands you're gonna go see. I tried to make a fun game.
I know.
Steve,
Okay, okay.
Flushed it down the toilet.
Let me think of some bands. I'm going to say May.
Okay.
I'm going to say Echosmith.
All right.
And I'm going to say Copeland.
I hadn't heard of Echosmith, but I've heard of May and Copeland.
Which is funny because
I'm going to guess you're going to go see May.
We are going to go see May. But she doesn't know that yet. But
I mean, it's Christmas Eve right now.
Yeah, so
don't let her listen to this episode.
I know. Nobody spoil this. Don't find my wife on Facebook and send her a message and ruin Christmas. You turds.
Yeah, bunch of dorks.
Echosmith is actually the only one of those three artists that has had like a chart-topping hit.
Really? Well, I know that Copeland
they've had like
and
a
May
couple
are just like bands that everyone was like in our friend circle were talking about back in the day when we were all young college type cruising around town being rascals.
Yeah, May put out a new album like a month ago and it's very different. And I've been listening to it like
in November
a lot. Yeah. Like at the tail end of November.
If I was in the band May, I would probably release an album in the month of May.
But it's spelled M-A-E, so it's different.
It don't matter. It sounds the same.
This coffee sounds pretty good.
I like it. I'm enjoying it. This is from the winter pack from Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
I brought you a pale ale, and you said, nope, I'm going to go get a coffee.
It just sounded really good. I'm going to drink the pale ale, too.
Let's intentionally continue to make this our most off-the-rails episode in a while, just because it is Christmas Eve, and who cares?
Is it off the rails right now? I feel like it's not that
We went kind of
rails.
back on, but it just feels like this is a kind of loose format. Like,
you want to just talk, man? You want to just hang out?
No, do you have anything else new to? I'm just saying we don't have to worry about being so structured. It's Christmas Eve. Let's relax.
I'm still not even sure what your what's new was. Did you do what's new?
It's just that we kind of talked about
not
that.
Doing what's new?
That Mahar guitar.
Mahar Raja.
That feels racist, but it might not be.
I don't
know.
I don't know where.
That's something I was trying to figure out. Where is it actually made? Some people were saying it was made
import.
Some people were saying it's made in Saudi Arabia. Some people were saying it was made in India.
I thought they were made in India. So Maharaja is it less racist, or maybe is it more racist?
No idea.
Is it more racist? Because now I'm not just connecting the name Mahar, but I'm also connecting Mahar with like the idea that it's made in India.
I don't even really know the reference. You're gonna break my lens cap, aren't you?
It's already broken.
I know, but you're gonna break it more. Let's get into the first ad. Let's get this train back on the rails.
This ad was
there's
sent
only
by
like 10 people listening today anyways.
This ad was sent by Matt Hadley. He says, in GD, it must be New Gear Day because I don't see no freaking guitar. Music store 1 hour away announced it was closing down. Grabbed all this, including the Dunlop PB1000E pedalboard and a 2x12 Jet City cab. Jet City cab. Loaded with eminent speakers for $500 AUD. That's $360 USD because Matt comes from the land down under. All right. So this is a Jim Dunlop. This is like a display board for a store.
It is huge.
And as well as a, what is this? A full bore metal?
I don't know if Dunlop currently has enough pedals to fill this board in their lineup.
I'm sure.
I guess once you throw all the crybabies on there.
This is like Dunlop. You're going to be throwing MXRs on this.
Yeah.
Because all of these pedals, or the mini fuzz face is a Dunlop, but everything else on here is a DC brick. That's Dunlop, or that's MXR. The two other pedals are MXR.
So this is a great deal, by the way.
$360? You think that $360 US?
Yeah. I probably would have gone for that. Because you're looking at the pedals, I guess it's probably like $200 worth of pedals. Used market.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe it's not a great deal.
There's one of these boards.
But it's in Australia though, and like US,
that's true.
US stuff is hard to come by down there, so the resale might be through the roof on these compared to what we would.
There was one of these Dunlop boards listed on Reverb at $106.54.
Wonder if it sold.
It did sell, but I don't know what price.
It's such a huge freaking board. I can't imagine using this board, let alone gigging with it. Because it's not just like big in a conventional sense, like it's deep. It has that huge back row on it.
Well, because it's like I said, it's a display board. You know what you get this for, man, is you get this if you have like a music room and you just have like pedals that you want to mess around with for like your home rig, but you are thinking like, I'm never gonna move this stuff.
You could easily fit like 20 something pedals on this board, like 25 pedals on this board. The thing is, like, it's so deep. You gotta like do yoga to stretch to reach the back of this board. So what's funny
is the actual photo I found of one of them has 6, 9, 10, only has 12 pedals on it.
Show me. Yeah, but they're all super spaced apart.
Yeah, I know. And 2 of those are wahs, so or like maybe
well, that back row. Come on, they could fit 3 more pedals up there.
Well, they've got like some way huge up there. See, like Dunlop's got it. Oh, and
I know. There's a lot of pedals in the Dunlop family.
This actually was listed for $460 new
with pedals.
Yeah, that's Australian $460, not with pedals. No, you can't get 12 pedals for $460 unless they're mini.
Not at today's prices. And the interest rates the way they are, forget about it.
And then the Jet City cab, which is 2x12 Jet City cab, I feel like that's the takeaway.
Once you factor that in, this is a sick deal. This is a good deal. The guy got a good deal, I think.
2x12 cab pedal board. Would you own
usable pedals? I mean, like you got the classic Phase 90 there and a Fuzz face. Those are like stick them in your collection and never sell them pedals.
But it's a mini Fuzz face. It's not like it's a collectible one.
No, but it's like you always want to have a Fuzz face around just in case, you know? And that's a convenient one to store.
Speaking of Fuzz faces,
the full-born metal, like, yeah, you can sell that one.
Did you hear about the new, the prediction for the new Chase Bliss pedal? The next one is going to be a dual Fuzz.
Aren't you the person who made that prediction?
One side is a bunch of muffs, is going to be like a muff circuit, and the other side is going to be a Fuzz face.
I saw that thread. I'm pretty sure you're the one who made the prediction. Have you heard the new rumor, Ryan?
The other rumor I wanted to get going was that the next one would be like called like the Light World. And it would be like the Thermade out, like the Thermade is like is like an extreme version of the Tonal Recall. Like that's kind of the general idea, I guess.
Yes, not really though.
And so so then the next question is like, how do you Thermade the Dark World? And the person who started that thread was like, it's definitely not going to be a reverb. Like, well, how the frick is anybody know anything?
My sincerest vote in that thread that we're talking about, some sort of Ottawa envelope filter sort of situation. You know that you'd be able to fine tune it to be like a slow gear sort of thing.
Somebody said compressor, and I was like, what?
It's hard to imagine like a compressor doing all the crazy, glitchy, rampy stuff that Chase Bliss is known for. Do you need a compressor that changes settings?
Like I don't even have a compressor. Ramp? Who needs a compressor?
Lots of people need.
Do you have a compressor?
I do. I use that Keeley Comp Plus
like all the time.
It's on my board.
Maybe I should get a compressor.
Maybe you should get a compressor, Steve. Maybe you should get a Chase Bliss compressor that changes compression settings in bounce mode or with an expression pedal. It actually might be kind of cool now that I think about it.
So this giant Dunlop board, would you have it? Would you own it?
I see the board is the part that is like hard for me to wrap my head around here. I can wrap my head around getting the pedals and the cab for $360 US. I think that's a great deal to walk away from a closing store with. The board is just like, where do you store it? Where do you put it in your house? Are you really going to fill that with pedals and use it? Because that's a deep pedal board. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like if I had
3 rows of pedals back, and the back row is elevated, what looks like 6 inches.
Yeah, if I had a music room, I could have this on the floor.
If I had a music store, I would buy this to display other pedals.
That's what I feel like it's for, though. Like that's what I feel like.
That's exactly what it's for. It's for a retail display.
Yeah.
This isn't for performing with or or playing with at home or something like that. It's for presentation in a retail environment.
You're not wrong.
I mean, the person who bought this is in our audience.
He did.
Matt.
I'm
It's
not.
Matt Hadley.
Yeah. He's a
Good old Matt Hadley.
He's a supporter of the show. He's a friend of the show.
We love Matt.
Friend of the show
I'm not
and
trying
supporter
to-
of the show.
I'm not trying to disparage his purchase here. I'm talking about in my situation. If I bought this, I don't know what I would do with that thing. Apparently, you can sell them. Apparently, people buy them.
Yeah, they're
100 something bucks.
$106 on Reverb.
I bet there's people out there who want to have massive pedal boards, and this is for them, but
There we
not,
go.
not for me.
Yeah, speaking of supporting the show, if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/60cyclehomecast. All right.
You know what? Kind
straight
of like
ahead.
music-related Christmas present I'd love to find under the tree.
What's that?
If everyone who listens to this show would just support us at the $1 level through Patreon. I mean, that would make Christmas magical for me.
That would make Christmas
Every
magical.
single person who listens supported
For me too.
at the $1 level.
For both of us.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be magical.
Just imagine coming downstairs to your Christmas tree. Is that where you keep your Christmas tree downstairs, Steve?
Yeah.
Come downstairs, and it's just full of Patreon subscribers.
Can you
Just
imagine?
stacked underneath the tree.
Can you know what this would be like? This would be like It's a Wonderful Life. At the end, hopefully I'm not ruining this for anyone. If you've
dies.
never seen It's a Wonderful Life and you don't want it spoiled for you, like fast forward like maybe a minute.
Is an Avengers crossover. Thanos snaps his fingers and everyone dies.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
So you know how in It's a Wonderful Life, like at the end, like all the townspeople come running in, they're just like giving them money. They're like money, money, money.
Yeah, they help
Like,
him out.
That's what our freaking email account would be like. Like we wake up Christmas Eve, going into Christmas Day, and all day we're just getting these email after email after
dollar
email.
after
$1,
dollar.
$1,
Oh, man.
$1.
Stuff it in my
$1,
stocking.
$1. I don't even know what we would do with all those $1.
Skip town.
It would be magical.
Move to Mexico. Set up shop.
I don't know if that's enough.
Podcast in Spanish.
Hola, mi nombre es Steve. Estás, I don't know how
That's
to,
like
I don't
a
know how to
thousand
say
times more
listen.
Spanish than I know how to
I
speak.
don't know how to say listening. 60 cycle hum.
You got to say the numbers in Spanish. This is taking way too long.
I don't know what 60 is in Spanish, man.
Yeah, either do I.
All right. Speaking of Christmas, what's an awful Christmas music related gift?
That's what Chris Reynolds wants to know. He asked, "Worst Christmas gifts for guitar players?" For this next topic. He asked this a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
because our last call for topics yielded no fruit. You guys are a-holes on the Facebook.
Basically, it's a Christmas fruit cake.
We've kind of covered this before.
I don't think people realized I was talking about like this podcast when I called out for topics.
They thought maybe you had another podcast.
Yeah, I was like very confused. Like, guys, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm not recording 2 episodes of another podcast on a Thursday. 2 weeks after the last Thursday that we recorded.
So we've discussed years past, Christmas past.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost of Christmas past is visiting us, and he's reminding us of what we've mentioned as bad Christmas gifts for guitarists. Covering things like stupid guitar-oriented T-shirts, like my daddy plays electric guitar or something like that, or like lamps, furniture that reminds you that you play guitar. Like,
you know what I
stuff like
saw
that
the other
is
day
dumb.
was and this was mine. Like it was mind boggling, man.
Bottling?
Mind boggling.
Oh my gosh.
It was a.
You know that's not the phrase, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Look it up.
I'm
So
not even
anyway,
gonna mess with that.
mind boggling. It's like your brain is in a bottle.
It's bottled your
can't-
mind.
Your mind is bottled. It can't get out. It's running out of air because the.
You know that game
The
where you
cork is
throw
on
a bunch
top.
of like dice that have letters on them, and then you try to make words out of them?
Boggle?
I know. I think it's called bottle.
Bottle. Wait, do you not know what I'm talking about? Mind bottling?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Off topic and it feels so good.
It's a okay. I had to remember what movie it's from because I know who it is. I just couldn't.
It feels like a Michael Scott thing.
No, well, it does feel like a Michael Scott thing, but it is a Will Ferrell thing.
Okay.
It's from Blades of Glory. I couldn't remember which Will
okay.
Ferrell it was. I just
Yeah, it
knew
sounds like a Will Ferrell thing too.
I just know it was a Will Ferrell thing. Anyway, what are we talking about? Christmas thing. Oh yeah, I saw and I think it was like brand new. It was a CD rack shaped like an electric guitar, and it was like
That's the worst.
that's like one gift, 2 strikes. It's shaped like a guitar, and it's for a technology that like.
What are you gonna go? You go to the thrift store and buy a bunch of Mariah Carey CDs, fill up your guitar rack. I mean, yeah, you are. You're super rich, Steve, and then you're gonna douse it with gasoline and set it on fire.
Smash it in the
I
driveway.
don't know how your neighbors put up with you. There's just piles of melted plastic and ash in your front yard,
Yeah, this one time, the city showed up with like a dump truck
and then you paid off the mayor.
to try to haul it away, and I doused their truck in gasoline, lit it on fire.
Here's a question I was going to propose, Steve, since we've already covered this sort of thing in the
I
past.
propose, yes.
I propose that we discuss actual pieces of musical gear that could be high value,
Mm-hmm.
but if, say, a friend or family member bought it for you, you'd be bummed out simply because you don't really have a use for it, and now you know that you can't get rid of it because it's a gift.
Oh man. So like,
Like, I'm imagining, like, what if someone bought me, like, a super crazy, like, quilty top, like, PRS or something like that. Like, wow, this is a crazy gift, but it's just not, like, my style.
dude, I
of
would play the
guitar.
crap out of that. I would change my style.
You'd change it up. Steve would go full Santana.
I think I but to an extent, like I know what you mean. Like, so maybe like
gifts that are too nice, but they're
Like-
just like, oh, Grandma, this is so thoughtful, but you don't know my style, But I can't return it because this is a very nice present, and I have to wait until you die, Grandma, before I can sell this.
Well, my grandparents are dead.
Yeah, mine too. Merry Christmas.
I think if it was like a Steve Vai signature guitar or
Yeah,
something, like a PRS, like I don't care how
Okay,
quilty,
no more grandma talk.
how like quilty or whatever it is, like
Your aunt buys you an Ibanez Jim. Does Steve rock the Ibanez Jim?
I don't know how.
It's got the monkey grip on there, Steve. You grab the grip and rip.
I don't know how to set up a Floyd Rose, man.
You would not.
I don't even know how to use, like,
Its string would break and you'd never be able to use it again.
I will say, actually, I would probably be obnoxious with one of those.
Oh man.
Because I've seen like the videos where Steve Vai, is it Vai or is it Satriani, who's like will like be playing and then he'll just grab, or is it all of them?
they all do that.
They just grab it. Actually, the one I was thinking of is the dude. What's the guitarist? Oh, man,
This is the sloppiest episode we've done.
the guitar,
probably in a year.
the guitar player from Dragon Force.
Okay.
You know what band I'm talking about? No, Dragon Force.
I've heard the word Dragon Force.
Okay,
before.
I forget what the guitar player's name is, but I remember this video. He's like very well known for his motorcycle sounds, which is what I was thinking of. Is how you can take a Floyd Rose because they're so stable.
Yeah.
And like you're playing and like you hit this note and then you just grab the bar and you don't use it to bend or like pull or whatever. You just like grab it and it's like locked in and you're not going this way. You're going like out and like you're lifting up the entire.
Yeah.
Like you're not going back, you're not going forward, you're going out and you're like lifting up the entire guitar and you're just going, that would be me in the middle of like Reckless Love.
In the middle of oceans.
In the middle of oceans.
Not even the solo.
How's this for some waves? No, I wouldn't know what to do with that. Like that's too much. It's not even like, oh, it's too nice of a guitar or whatever, because if you got me a $10,000 PRS, yeah, I get some playtime out of that.
I guess I could. Yeah, a PRS is kind of middle of the road player. Like you don't have to be a shredder
Yeah.
to like pull off a
Well,
PRS.
I mean, like, because you're saying like, oh, if it's quilty or whatever, but all it is it's pretty. At its
Yeah.
core, it's a PRS makes two guitars, effectively, right? They make a Les Paul and they make a Stratocaster.
Yeah.
Like, they make a dual humbucker Stratocaster, but
Yeah.
like effectively,
it's a bolt on
if
with
you're
a
get-
Strat.
Yeah, or well, it's not even necessarily bolt on. Like,
Oh, yeah,
it might
you're
be a
right.
set neck, but it's got a trim on it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
got a
just-
conventional classic Strat trim, which for me,
People are.
I just put in some springs.
15
whatever.
people are listening to this episode, and 3 of them are fuming at you right now because you called the PRS a Strat.
I'm saying, like, if you reduce it down to its core parts, there's
Sure,
nothing
sure.
wrong with that. I'm not saying they're bad guitars.
If you reduce it down to bridge style, yeah, it's a Strat.
or a Les Paul.
Yeah.
The
The
it's
bridge,
a hardtail or a trim.
the bridge determines whether or not it's a Strat or a Les Paul or a Telecaster.
Yeah.
And some SGs have different bridges.
Yeah.
And Rickenbackers have different bridges. And Jazzmasters have different bridges.
I
Okay,
don't think
every
there's
okay, every guitar has
I
different
don't
bridges.
think there's a Paul Reed Smith version of a Jazzmaster.
There's not.
There should be.
But PRS does have their own wraparound stop bar bridge. So that is a PRS. That's not a Les
That's
Paul.
true. That's true. All right. So anyway, the point being that, like, that would be like if, somebody in my family bought me a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier.
Yeah.
And with a 4x12, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, this is bigger than my dinner table.
Yeah, where are you supposed to keep it? Like, what if someone bought you a stand-up bass, Steve?
Ooh.
That's an expensive
that'd be
gift.
kinda-
It's a very generous
that'd be
gift.
kinda cool.
What are you going to do with it? Where are you going to put it? You're going to have to put it in your bed at night and you sleep on the floor. It's worth the sacrifice, though. I
Yeah, I
can't
don't
think
know.
of anything off the top of my head that would be like, man, I wouldn't be able to hang with that.
What if it was just something that was like, what if somebody got you like a Kemper, like some sophisticated piece of digital?
No, I think that'd be fine. I'm thinking more like, what if someone got me like another Dreadnought acoustic?
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, because you
man.
don't really do the acoustic thing.
I don't even want the Dreadnought acoustic that I have. I want to. If I do more acoustics, I want to move to classical.
What if it was a good, what if it was nice?
Yeah, what if someone bought me like a Gibson Hummingbird or something like that?
Ooh.
I'd have no use for it.
I wish someone would buy me a Gibson Hummingbird.
Dear Santa, I have been extra good. Oh crap, it's Christmas Eve. It's too late. He's not going to get the letter in time.
Dude, he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He doesn't need no freaking
He
letter.
knows that you want a Gibson Hummingbird. You don't even have to ask for it.
He knows if you're awake. He knows if you want a Gibson Hummingbird, so you don't even have to ask for it.
Good song, Steve.
Thanks. I wrote it myself right now.
You know what? I changed my mind. This is the best episode we've ever recorded.
Best episode of 2018. That's for dang sure.
These are the new rails. We're not off the rails. We're on new rails, newer, better rails. We're getting geared up for the new year. Next episode's going to be 2019, Steve.
We're still staying on topic better than like 95% of the other guitar podcasts out there.
That's 100% true, except for that one where the guy is like, no idle talk, no demos, no
I hope
reviews.
I hope he doesn't listen to
I
this.
know,
like,
especially since I asked
since
to
you're
be
trying to
a
get on his show.
guest on a show. It's a good show. I forget the name of his show.
All right, dude. What do
already.
you think about this smartphone?
Guitar Business Network podcast?
Something like that. What do you think about this iPhone Capo? Is this a gift? If somebody
Oh,
got this for
man.
you for Christmas, would you be like? Because I'm
torn on it. Like someone posted this to the group. It's a capo that's got a clip on there to hold an iPhone. Here's the thing. Like I look at that and like, that's stupid. It's for people who want to like read tabs and stuff. But then have you ever tried to hold your phone on your lap while you're playing guitar? It's
Yeah.
a pain in the ass.
yeah.
This
It-
solves that.
Well, and I think the
you don't even have to use it as a capo. Leave it clipped on your headstock and it's an iPhone holder.
well, think about this too, right? Like, so I use
Imagine the live streaming you could do.
oh dang, yeah, that'd be sick too. I use Music Stand, the Music Stand app, at church. And, but I put it on my iPad and it's on a music stand that's like, down by my knees or whatever. Cause I like to keep my music stand far enough away that it's not blocking my face because I need the people in church to see this face. I mean, I paid good money for this face.
What?
But if like my music was on,
I'm pretty
like,
sure
on my
with that
Capo-
beard, you paid no money to keep that face covered up, mostly. Saving a lot of money on razors.
That's true.
Yeah.
I buy like 1 8-pack of Harry's razors, and basically my wife just destroys them.
I
and then
bought
throw them away.
a refill of Mach 3 blades like 10 years ago, and they're still sitting in the drawer. Sorry I interrupted your whole
Dang, dude.
rant on the
Your
smartphone
wife
capo.
doesn't use your razors?
Nope.
Oh, well, maybe she should.
She
because
knows
they're the same thing.
Those are my razors, and she doesn't touch them.
Are they in like a vacuum sealed package? They should have rusted by now. Maybe I just live too close to the ocean.
You do live closer to the ocean than me.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your thoughts on this Capo iPhone holder?
I don't know. Like, I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, me too.
But can you imagine if you slapped one of these on an SG? Ooh.
Yeah, neck heavy.
Eee.
That is a good amount of weight to a phone. Especially if you throw like a case on there, an OtterBox or whatever.
Yeah, dude, my phone is hefty.
My phone's completely naked. You ever want to feel what a phone's like?
999? 1,000. Oh, I've done so many.
Steve's very strong. He does a lot of exercise lifting his phone. Yeah,
is there like categories of like the worst gifts? Like if somebody got you a Klon Centaur, like a real Klon Centaur, would you be like super stoked about it? Or would you be like, oh, I'm sitting on $1,500?
I would be half pissed because I'd be like, I'm sitting on all this money if I sold this. And I'd also be like, oh, cool, I've got a Klon to mess around with and do some demo work with. But that's something very unique to me.
Actually.
I know it's like,
when I said
you guys get sick of me bringing up the demo business stuff. You can be honest, it's Christmas Eve. Sharing and caring.
If you're not listening to this on Christmas Eve, you don't get to complain.
No, please don't make a comment after Christmas Eve. Only on Christmas Eve, please.
Yeah. That's the rule.
Yeah.
It's the law.
It's Christmas law.
Don't break the law.
What's your favorite Christmas movie, Steve?
Die Hard.
That's a dumb answer. It's Die Hard because it took place in Christmas. I'm sick of that.
I don't know. Doesn't one of the Harry Potters take place on Christmas?
I don't know. I didn't watch
one of the
any
Harry
of
Potters
those.
does. I
Top
don't know,
3.
man.
Don't pick favorite. Top 3.
Top 3. Shoot. Home Alone. But that one's like so cringy to watch now. Like I am physically in pain.
Yeah,
while
with a
watching
nail
that.
in the foot.
That's the worst one. Oh man, that is the worst one.
I've introduced Home Alone to my 4-year-old, and he loves it. He would watch it 10 times a day if he could. Right now.
Yeah, he was watching it when I came over here.
No, but like, I've become the parent that's like, now understand that this is just in a movie. We'd never this is not funny in real life. That those people would be very hurt if that happened.
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm watching it through completely new eyes now that I'm watching it with my kid. But yeah, Home Alone is on my list. I'd say the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is up there for me. Like that just is a Christmas movie, even though everyone is an a-hole to Rudolph and they do not deserve him. He should have gone and lived with other people.
See, my thing is like, there's Christmas movies that are iconic, but the reality is that like, I just don't. Excuse me.
I've never been into It's a Wonderful Life.
I'm not like, there's no movie that I'm like, oh, it's Christmas, I gotta watch this movie.
Sure. I'm completely over like.
Maybe I'm just a cold-hearted bastard.
Probably. I'm completely over Elf. I don't really want to watch Elf ever.
I feel like I would rather watch Elf than most other Christmas movies.
I'm kind of over.
Because I feel like I could like shut down the Christmas part of it and just engage it as a movie. Like Elf is a movie that I could watch any time of the year. But so is Die Hard.
The only reason I like
so is Home Alone.
I only enjoy
Gremlins is also a Christmas movie.
Gremlins it would be on my list. I only enjoy Elf for the parts with Bob Newhart. Is that weird?
No, that makes sense.
I kind of wish it centered around Bob Newhart a lot more.
Elf 2, Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
I hope not. I like Bob Newhart. I like his way of speaking.
There was like a new movie that was like, there was another movie that
I just remember I've got this sitting right here.
Yeah, I thought that was why you wanted to do this topic.
This is Guitar Center's holiday season. They don't even call it Christmas.
Those bastards.
They don't even call it Christmas. What holiday do they think? We're celebrating. They've got a bow on a gift down here. Last minute gifts. I don't actually care if they call it Christmas or not. Who cares? If there's a war on Christmas, sorry guys, Christmas is winning. They're kicking ass. Let's see if there's anything good to talk about in
There's
here.
not.
Concert, acoustic,
hold on.
electric,
When you get these
Fender.
catalogs, now I haven't gotten a catalog from anybody in a long time, probably because I don't actually shop in stores. Well, I did buy that thing from Sweetwater, and I'm surprised I did not get on the Sweetwater catalog list again when I bought the Strymon Zuma. But do you ever do the thing where
You're
like
doing a lot of fast
you
talking,
go
Steve.
through and you pick your favorites?
Pick your favorites in the catalog?
Yeah, like the things that you're like, oh man, if I was super rich Steve, these are the things that I would get.
You know, I'm always asking myself that question. No, mostly when I look through catalogs these days, I'm just bored because I'm like, I saw this on the internet a year and a half ago.
Well, like I don't think of it like, oh, I'm bored because I've seen this before. I think of it like, oh, do I want this? So what I would do is I would go through catalog. I would just pick my favorite thing on each page.
Here's what we're gonna do. There's only a couple pages of the guitar stuff here.
Lame. They're called freaking Guitar Center.
Not DJ Center, not keyboard or
Not
drum
Live
center,
Audio Center.
not Plastic Fruit Shaker Center.
How dare
Okay,
they?
pick your favorite and least favorite on this spread.
On this spread.
Yeah,
All right.
that, for like giftability.
For a gift for who?
For either giving or receiving, you decide.
So my least favorite thing on here is the Mitchell Launch Patch.
You own a Mitchell.
Launch Pack. Not one of these ones though.
Okay.
I don't know anything about their electric guitars.
Oh, you were looking at the electric guitar.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, because it comes with that fake acoustic amp.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even process that. Yeah, Jesus, Guitar Center.
Get out of here with a rebrand as acoustic amps. They're not acoustics. Not like the acoustics Steve and I like. The old ones. Bastards.
My favorite thing on here.
I think that uke is very giftable. I think that's a good stocking stuffer right there. $50 ukulele.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Probably pretty playable for $50
That's pretty
too.
good, but I already have a ukulele.
I know, but it doesn't have to be for you. It's giftable. It's just something you can give to someone else.
I kind of like that Squire Affinity PJ bass. I'm all about the PJ basses are cool. I've been playing, actually, that should have been my What's New a while ago. I've been playing Reggie Hamilton bass at church.
Where'd
Reggie
that come
Hamilton
from?
P bass or Reggie Hamilton jazz bass. It's Sam's.
Oh, cool.
So he's like, hey man, you want me to bring it? You want me to bring my bass on Sunday? I'm like, if you bring it, I won't not play it. Like,
yeah.
because apparently my Yamaha is like, I've always said it sounds too modern, but apparently the sound guys don't like it. Like, it's got some funky EQing going on.
Interesting.
So, and they really, I mean, that thing sounds dope and also rad.
So I think my yays here is that uke. I think that's a good
All right,
gift. I
that's a good one.
got one of my ukes as a Christmas gift years and years ago, and it was a good gift. Probably the
Yeah.
best gift my mom has ever given me. My nay, I think I'm going to agree with you that Mitchell electric pack there, even though there is an Epiphone SL on this page.
Would that be a nay for you?
I would rather get the SL than that Mitchell pack.
Are you looking at the prices too, or are we considering prices
I'm just
here? 'Cause
considering
not.
it as gifts. The prices don't matter with gifts.
That's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying,
about
I'm
what I
liking
would like to receive. All right.
All right, next page.
Next two pages here. I mean, there's bunch of yays on this page.
I think the nay is the Epiphone Les Paul Special 1. I don't understand. I mean, I understand why the Epiphone Les Paul Special line exists, but I'm just big thumbs down for me.
Yeah. No one needs that. I mean, those bullet strats. That Seafoam one's kind of speaking to me.
I don't hate them. I don't love, but I'm talking about what you want to get
But then
rid
also
of.
you
don't want
more-
to get rid of that?
You got more Mitchells on this page, which look really bad to me. It's the headstock. I hate the headstock on those Mitchells.
Yeah. Do you know when they first rolled all this stuff out, I applied for us to become Mitchell artists.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. Because you wanted to see if they would send stuff to us.
Yeah.
As far as giftability goes,
That was before our YouTube took off too. At this point, like we could probably if they were launching that now, you could. You don't want to be a Mitchell artist,
I don't
right?
want to be a Mitchell artist.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, giftability. I'm looking at this Katana Mini, And I'm like,
That's a good one.
That's a stocking
I think
stuffer right there.
Dunlop mini volume would be dope too.
Oh, totally. I've got 2 of these pedals. I've got the mini volume and I've got the mini crybaby, and they are winners.
Isn't the mini crybaby? It's a Q wall though, right? Like it's the circuit that's like the upgraded.
There's a version of it that is the Q wah, and then there's this version which is like the standard, but it has you open it up and there's 3 different settings for 3 different wah sounds, like classic and a modern and like a modified or something like that. So yeah, I'm thinking that Katana Mini and either of those mini Dunlop pedals are big yays for me, and big nays to those Mitchell guitars.
Would you say the Mitchell, the full size, or the mini double cut Mitchells?
Probably my biggest nay is the Strat styles.
That's the mini.
Yeah. There's a friggin' Pod HD 500X on here.
I didn't even know you could still buy those.
I feel like that's like not giftable, really. And then we start to get into DJ stuff and cases. And
Hold on, there's some thing. There's
one page left. Okay.
The one that I wouldn't want to receive here is probably the Capos, because I think I have enough of those. What I would gift, I think I'd gift the clip-on tuner. I don't know, man.
Yeah, clip-on tuners. That's a stocking stuffer if I've ever seen one. Clip-on tuners for the whole family.
Kind of like this Pioneer. I don't know anything about this.
The rest of it's all live audio stuff.
Oh,
there's only
keyboards,
2 spreads of guitar stuff from Guitar Center.
Drums, electric drums. Ooh, cajones are cool.
Suck on that.
All right, let's. Wow.
We've chewed up a lot of time and haven't gotten very far at all.
Yeah, so this episode is brought to you by Sinusoid Pro Audio Couture. They make cables.
And smiles.
This week we're talking about the solderless kits. Sinusoid sells the G&H solderless kit. What may separate them from a bunch of other retailers out there is they have like 6 or 8 different colors. I forget. I think it's 6, but it might be 8.
It might be 32 colors.
I don't think it's 32.
Well, you're not too sure about the other 2 numbers either.
Yeah, that's true. I put a bunch of these cables together, like 11 of them. I would have been 12, but I lost a screw because I'm an idiot. And they're great. And I did almost all of them on the first try, and they're really easy to test. They're pretty much foolproof. I have been swapping things around on my pedal board and moving them to different pedal boards and whatever, and haven't had any of them fail. So I'm pretty confident in the fact that once you build them, if you build them correctly, they will not fail on you.
If you build them the way Steve builds them.
That's right.
Which is the right way. Steve is so good. Sinusoid Cables. They make cables.
And smiles. This episode is also brought to you by Gun Street Wiring Shop. If you're looking for a wiring for your Strat, your Tele, your Les Paul, your SG, your Jazzmaster, your Jaguar, your Mustang, your Jazz Bass, your Mustang Bass, your P Bass, not your Nissan Sentra, hit up Gun Street Wiring Shop and see what they can do for you. They got classic wiring rigs. They got modern wiring rigs. They got
wiring rigs from the future.
If you don't even know what you want, just email and be like, hey, Sean, I don't know what I want.
He'll just put something together for you and send it to you.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Chase Bliss.
You ever think about with one of the other sponsors that are not last, saying least but not last?
No, because that would be mean.
It would be mean, and I'm glad you don't do it, Steve.
That would be weird, too.
It wouldn't even be true.
It's not even a thing people say. It's like you're trying to be funny, but mostly you're just being mean. Not you, but I'm saying like if somebody were to say that, it's like
talking about being mean, Steve. You cut me to the quick.
Why you got to be so mean?
All right, tell us all about Chase Bliss Audio.
Someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're going to be is mean.
What is that from?
It's Taylor Swift.
I don't listen to any Taylor Swift.
Maybe you should.
I'll do it for you for Christmas, Steve. Listen to Taylor Swift.
That was I was gonna. So one of the
is that what you wrote Santa?
No,
so you want Ryan to listen to Taylor Swift?
Yeah. So that was you know how we were talking, like we've pitched back different ideas of of doing a drunk episode where we have to like listen to music or whatever together
yeah.
and different things. So the original thing that I pitched like months ago to you was that we would assign each other an album and we would have to listen through the entire album, pick one song that we loved out of however many tracks are on the album, no matter what. You have to pick one track
Your fave.
that you're like, this is my favorite song and this is why. Even if you hate every song, there is one song that you hate the least.
Yeah.
And that would be like how you proved you listened to the album. And I was going to assign you a Taylor Swift album.
All right.
But we never did it because you said it was a bad idea.
Bad idea, Steve. I mean, it might be a good idea. I don't know.
I think it'd be a good idea if we were drinking.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, Chase Bliss
We could
Audio.
do a song and a shot.
Song. That's a lot of shots, man. Or one song and shots.
But I'm saying for an episode, like we take a shot, we listen to a song, and then we review it.
I like
And
this.
we do like 12 songs in an episode.
Yeah. Somebody suggested that we should power hour. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, man. That sounded crazy. It's a shot
That's like-
per minute per hour
That's like
of beer. It's shots of beer,
it's like
but
10 it's like 10 beers in an hour.
it just sounds like a lot of watching, like a lot of clock watching.
Well, you just put your stopwatch on lap mode.
But is that going to be interesting for people to watch or listen to? Like us being like, oh, minutes up. Oh, minutes up. Minutes up. I think it's fun for people who are drinking, but I don't think it's fun for people who are watching people
They
drinking.
did it on The Greatest Generation.
Good for them.
All right. Again, this episode is brought to you by Chase Bliss Audio, Digital Brain, Analog Heart. Chase Bliss Audio they're not digital heart? Well, what is it? The dark world has messed with my head, clearly.
They make one digital pedal and you can't conceptualize an entire brand anymore, Steve.
Yeah, it's like, what does this slogan mean? You know what this slogan means? It means at their core, Joel Corte is a man.
Is that what you're going to end on? Joel Corte is a man. You look at Chase Bliss pedals and they have a common theme throughout, Steve. And I think the digital brain is the thing you have to lean on. It's got that crazy digital brain. It's got those million dip switches on the back. It's got crazy things that each knob can do.
Aren't there like 16?
There's a billion, Steve. Possibly a trillion. At least a trillion combinations in every box. Chase Bliss cereal.
All right. Anyway, so Chase Bliss, they have flange, they have a delay, they have
Tremolo.
another delay, they have a tremolo, they have a reverb, they have distortion / fuzz / overdrive. They've got a EQ-ish thing. What am I leaving out? They got a chorus vibrato. They got all kinds of pedals. Head on over to
Delays
chaseblissaudio.com.
for days.
Basically, if you've looked at the market for your typical pedals, you're like, Tube Screamer's cool, but it's only got 3 knobs. Oh, Turbo Tube Screamer? 4 knobs. I want 6 knobs, 2 switches, like 2 stomps,
and a partridge in
some
pear tree.
toggles, a whole bunch of dip switches, because like I want the ultimate in versatility. chaseblissaudio.com.
I mean, they've got that like knob switch button to price ratio down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of knobs and switches and buttons. I mean, just think about it. So big thanks to Chase Bliss Audio for sponsoring this train wreck of an episode.
Sorry we ruined your sponsorship.
Do we want to try to tackle the 3/5 of the rest of the episode we planned out
I think we do.
when we're already an hour deep?
There's only 15 people listening to this episode.
Merry Christmas.
All right, this ad was sent in by Craig Breslin. This is a Fender Japan Jazzmaster electric guitar reference number 136576. It's $597 plus $110 shipping. Hello, I've been selling with eBay from Japan, so I can provide you the best. This is reverb, bruh.
Yep.
Anyway, this item is sold out
Copy-paste in
everywhere in
game is weak.
Japan and very hard to get. First come, first serve. Manufacturer, okay, blah, blah, blah. There's a crack in the head, fingerboard, and neck. There is damage in the peg and nut, lacking of tremolo arm. There's paint cracking or peeling and rust hardware. Neck, unknown. Fret, 50 to 60%. Truss rod, unknown. That's like condition, I guess. So basically, this guy does not know. Like, he's gonna ship this guitar to you, and it may fall apart in your hands.
This guitar needs a complete rehaul. I don't think it's gonna fall apart in your hands. I liked our theory pre-show that this guitar potentially was a victim of the tidal wave situation, because this thing is in rough condition and it is rusted on every metal bit in ways that are not normal.
This switch isn't rusted.
This looks like it was stored somewhere damp.
Yeah,
this
for
isn't
sure.
this isn't rust that happens from hands touching metal. This is
Why
something
wouldn't
else.
you at least replace the strings?
Yeah. I mean, and if this guy's trying to sell this thing, getting a new nut from a tech is like $30-$50. Like, he would command more money from this thing. I mean, there's cosmetic issues that don't bother me. I would ding the price for them, but they don't bother me, like the damage on the headstock, as far as like that big chunk of wood that's missing a little bit. The dings and the scratches and stuff. It's relicking. It's a relic guitar. It survived a tsunami, apparently, we suspect. I don't like the pick guard. I would change the pick guard on this if I bought it. And there's some very real damage to this guitar in the headstock area and the nut area. You're going to have to reconstruct some wood around the nut where the nut has broken off and pieces of wood have shattered away. And I thought there was some other extensive damage.
So, I mean,
to
I
the
think
neck.
that's kind of my problem.
Oh, look
with
at this. Look at this. I mean, this is a big problem. This crack going along the side of the fretboard here. This thing is going to need some real repairs.
So that's my problem with all of this is,
and he wants $700 for it.
Is that he wants 700? Now it's shipping from Japan, so that's probably part of why.
You can get a Jazzmaster, not an MIJ, but you can get some very good Jazzmasters on the used market from not too far off from $700. Not $700, but you could get them under $1,000 if you watch the used market long enough. I just feel like this isn't worth the trouble for the price. Like, I think the trouble for the price ratio here is like, this has got to be in the low 400s, high 300s.
Yeah, there's a lot. Now, I didn't look up the serial number, so I don't know. I'm seeing a similar color and pickguard combo from 96, 97, 62 reissue, which is again in my J. But I'm seeing other colors of this. I'm seeing a lot of Paisleys on Reverb.
Oh, nice. How much do those go for?
These are all like $1,000 but that's where I've gotten to. So here's a Fender Japan traditional 60s jazz at $798.
And it's not like Sunburst is the most desirable color.
It is to me.
A lot of people don't like Sunburst. I like Sunburst.
Here's one that's
if it was a two-tone Sunburst,
$797. So this one, for what it's worth, this one does appear to be the cheapest one on Reverb.
But the damage is extensive.
Yeah, so the neck crack
it better be the cheapest one.
The neck
Reverb.
crack, if it said neck has a side crack repaired and everything else on this was looking good, but it was like the hardware was rusted, but it said that it worked.
I mean, with this rust, it looks like this guitar spent time in water.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Like what condition the
pickups that's not pitting, that's rust. Which pitting, it's a different kind of
like
rust,
the way the input jack looks or the output jack, however you think about it, looks like water was leaking out of it for like a year or something like that. Like, it's crusty.
That's what the output jack on my Strat looks like.
That's because you pee on it.
What?
I don't know. I had to come up with some reason why it would look that way.
All right.
That's ridiculous, dude. If your jack looks like that, you're doing something weird.
Oh, actually, it's not on my Strat. It's on the Bullet. That's the one that looks like that. And that guitar is just in rough shape. Anyway,
if this was local and there wasn't the $100 shipping on it, I might be tempted in the 500s. Is that fair? To get an MIJ Jazzmaster?
I mean,
that probably needs $150 of repairs.
So is $597? Is that not in the 500s? You're saying like low 500s?
Yeah, low 500s.
I think that's fair because I think so.
Because there's $110 shipping, dude. Like,
Honestly, if I saw this guitar on Reverb and it just didn't have strings on it, I would be less concerned about it. The fact that it has like these rusted ass strings on it is part of what like makes me think, man, like
it's like a different kind of neglect.
right.
Yeah.
It's really, really weird.
It does. You agree with me, right? It looks like it spent time underwater.
Yeah.
Like something
I can agree
happened to
with
this.
that.
I want to know what the story is.
I mean, I think it definitely could just have been living outside of its case with an open window by
Next
the
to a
sea.
sprinkler.
You know, whatever.
I don't think this is next to a window levels of corrosion.
Well, and you look at where like some of the rust spots are, like you look at the bridge, a lot of that rust is just there because the strings are gross.
No, dude. The strings and the bridge are rusty. Not the bridge isn't rusty because the strings are rusty. Look, there's rust on the edges that have nowhere to do with.
But I'm saying there's all
strings.
like where the saddle is, like most of the rust is concentrated like in the grooves that the string should be
rust
sitting in.
coming out of the hole you stick the trim arm into.
That's weird.
I'm telling you, there's rust coming out of places where there shouldn't be, like places no one ever touches, places that shouldn't be wet. I mean, no part of a guitar should be wet. Out of all the places on a guitar that should be wet, what do you think should be wet, Steve?
None of the places. But like
probably next to the valve that you open up to replace the tone fluid.
oh right,
You know?
right.
Yeah,
I always forget about that spot.
About the tone fluid. It's hidden by your the strap button. Just take off your strap button, you'll find the valve for the tone fluid.
That explains it.
Yeah.
That explains it. I never looked back there.
Do we want to tackle that other topic?
I don't know. Do we?
We're rushing through 2/3 of our podcast in the last 15 minutes.
Well, we're not gonna hit it. What time?
Jesper asks why manufacturers are muddying the waters, messing up the rather clear, at least to me, definitions of overdrive, distortion, and fuzz. MXR are calling their 5150 pedal an overdrive. It's emulating amp distortion, high gain distortion. Friedman calls their BEOD an overdrive. It's emulating amp distortion, high gain amp distortion. Some people call the rat a fuzz. It's a distortion that gets thick but never square wave fuzzy. I don't like some people, at least Rev Amplification, have the decency to call the G3 a distortion pedal.
I feel like you have a bigger take on this, so I'm gonna let you roll with this for a minute. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
You're gonna abandon me? I'm just gonna talk to like the audience instead of pretending that I'm talking to you? Oh gosh, Steve.
You chose this topic.
Merry Christmas indeed. I feel like I want to wait for him. I like to have someone to bounce my opinions off of. We're gonna wait till he gets back from the bathroom. If you think I'm gonna like edit this and fast forward so that there's less silence on this show, you're wrong. This is the Christmas Eve episode. I'm gonna leave this in. He's back.
It's so quiet in here.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything. I was waiting for you to come back, and I'm not gonna edit it out. I'm gonna leave it
Well, that's awkward.
with the Christmas spirit of vindictive
I
actions.
should have grabbed another beer.
I know, right? One for me too. So what? You have any?
Any preferences?
Nah, just give me something.
Get you an IPA.
If there's any left. Christmas spirit, Christmas dickery. There was Steve getting up and down in and out of the podcast. This episode is like a punishment for the listeners for not appreciating our 51 weeks of quality content every year. And we throw out a real stinker.
You want a pale ale or you want
got
a
a
winter warmer?
Yeah, I'll do pale ale. I've already done a winter warmer tonight. So do you have any hot takes on the difference between fuzz, distortion, and overdrive?
I barely understand this question. I mean,
Well,
like
to me, like an overdrive.
I mean, like I get it, but like,
I mean, I
need that bottle opener, man.
The question asker differentiates amp clipping as distortion, which I guess I could get behind for high gain amps.
Right.
But I typically think of amp clipping as overdrive.
So I think that's one of the things out of the gate that's like kind of already going into a gray area. He says MXR are calling their 5150 pedal an overdrive. It's emulating amp distortion. But at least to me, in like the classical definitions of distortion versus overdrive, is that distortion is at least in a pedal form is well, I don't know if that's fair either. I was gonna say like distortion is like, oh, it's a chip draw, like it's
kind of like this whole thing
generated,
kind of like trying to describe what chicken tastes like.
Right. And so I was gonna say like, because you said like, well, overdrive is like an amp being overdriven and distortion is like a pedal thing, but then like I wouldn't be like, oh, Purple Haze or whatever, that's just all overdrive, but like that, it's not like Jimmy, like he was just cranking a Marshall.
Wasn't he pushing it with a fuzz face?
Oh, was
or
he?
An Octavia or something?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But then in that case, like the 5150 is definitely an overdrive. Like the Van Halen, the Brown sound, the Van Halen sound is just, that's a cranked Marshall.
But if I think of like the Brown sound in a box and a pedal, then I'm like, yeah, that's a distortion.
Right.
But if it's in an amp, I'm like, that's
an overdrive.
I mean, it really is like trying to describe what chicken tastes like, because it tastes like, like whatever flavors you throw on to it, and it tastes like so many other mild white meats.
Which other white meats do you compare?
I feel like
to?
fuzz is the standout here. People who say that the Rat is a fuzz are kind of crazy. It's a distortion. I don't know how to define distortion and fuzz and overdrive, but I know it when I hear it.
No, I think that's fair, but I think like
when I think of fuzz, I think the comparison is sandpaper. Like fuzz,
sure.
Fuzz is the craziest, heaviest grit of sandpaper you can get.
Right. Fuzz is 60 grit or whatever.
Yeah. Distortion,
45 grit.
No, distortion is like a freaking
distortion's
wire wheel on a grinder.
I don't
an electric angle
own one
grinder.
of those. Let's go back to sandpaper. Can we go back to sandpaper?
And then overdrive is like the wet sanding paper, like the finest grit you can get.
Right. Yes. I think that's fair. I think, in terms of like grits that I understand, like I would say like maybe fuzz is like a 30 or a 60 or whatever. Overdrive is like a 150. Distortion's like a 150 or like a 120.
I feel like we should get
overdrive's like 400. Like
we should get a scale figured out for the pedal industry and get everyone on board where they measure.
Oh my!
And they can do it with like an oscilloscope or something like that. They measure the grit of their pedal and be like, "Hey, this fuzz right here, this is a 60 grit fuzz."
But then
versus our other pedal that's a 45 grit.
You think about that. Like, what is I'm sure. Like, if you have, because it has to be a specific kind of is fuzz. Is it all about clipping? Is that the difference between fuzz and distortion? Because when I think of like a really heavy fuzz, I also think about things like gating.
Yeah.
And I think about the fact that I have that greenhouse distortion that I got from Jason Fuzzmonger. And I would not call that a fuzz, but it's way heavier than the fuzz that I own that is actually a fuzz. Like the Fox Tone Machine is definitely a fuzz, and even the Fox Tone Machine isn't really gatey.
Right.
Like it's a noisy fuzz.
I'm telling you, we just need the solution to this is to outlaw the terms overdrive, distortion, and fuzz, and just start measuring it in different ranges of grit. And say this is a 320 grit dirt box, and people know, oh, that would be kind of like an overdrive.
This question. So I know you're not like a fan of. Is it fair to say that you're not a fan of IPAs?
Yeah, they're not my go-to, but
you like tolerate IPAs.
I enjoy them on a sunny day.
Okay, what is it about IPAs that prevents them from being like?
Are you going to go for like an
beer?
IBU sort of?
No, not necessarily.
Here? I mean, it's just I like a maltier, smoother, like grainier beer.
Okay,
and then IPA is like it's very citrus.
Do you think of an IPA as being overly bitter beer?
There's a bitterness to it. There's a pine cone quality to it.
Okay. I'm gonna work with that.
Okay.
Because a lot of the IPAs I drink aren't piney. I tend to drink more citrusy IPAs. It's a style thing. But my wife, I found, because I'm always trying to give my wife different kinds of beer. Whenever I have a beer, I have her try it.
Mm-hmm.
Except when I'm over here recording. Because she's not here. Duh, idiots.
Yeah, duh. Figure it out.
So my wife really hates stouts, and she always says that they're bitter. But I will give her like
to me, is a good stout is like a chocolate shake.
And then I will give her an IPA, and she'll be like, "Oh, that's not bad." I'm like, "It's not too bitter for you?" She's like,
"Weird."
Well, it's bitter, but it's like it's different. Like that's fine. And I think it's because so the stouts, I tend to drink imperial stouts.
Well, like an IPA is bitter like a Sour Patch Kid.
Right.
And then a stout's bitter like black liquor.
Or like black coffee.
Or black coffee,
Which she doesn't like black coffee either.
Okay. I guess I can see like the taste profile difference.
But I do. So where I'm going with this is I think that like there are certain things where you can say like, oh, like a distortion means this, or fuzz means this, but then to another person's ear, they're going to be like, I guess I can see why you would call that a distortion, but to my ears,
there are definitely like circuits that kind of straddle the barriers and give you a little taste of different qualities of things. Like a fuzz face, like you can dial back a fuzz face to be kind of overdrivey.
Yeah. Well,
here's what I think. I think that like the same circuits can do multiple sounds like that and cover ranges. I mean, there's certain circuits that only do fuzz, only do overdrive, only do distortion. But what we're really describing here is the result when you're using it, not the circuit design. Like I think of an overdrive as a loose, low grit that plays well with strumming and is more like an amp on the edge of breakup.
Right.
You can get that from fuzzes and distortions that are dialed in just right. I think of a distortion.
Well, and again, like I think that's even within that, like that's a genre thing. Because if you have like a super gatey fuzz, like you're just screwed.
You're right. But that's what I'm saying. There's certain circuits that are very squarely in their genre, and there's circuits that kind of wander in and out of them.
Yeah.
A distortion is an overdrive to the max, to the point where it's just high gain, just full clipping across the board of your signal, but it's not fuzz yet because it's not gone into like a ridiculous square wave. Like the peaks aren't folded back on top of themselves. There's just full saturation of the peaks. And then a fuzz, like what I was describing earlier, is just completely square waved. The edges are just folding over on each other. Every part of it is clipping, and it's just this heavy grit, giant spikes, and giant valleys.
Right.
You know, it's just the extreme. And I think that's where my understanding of the definitions lie. And like I said, I think a pedal can cover a range of those sorts of sounds.
Do you think that maybe the beginning of this is why manufacturers are muddying the waters, messing up rather clear parentheses, at least to me. I know you read this already.
Yeah. Why are they doing it?
Do you think that maybe this is just all perception? When you think of like vintage fuzz, right? You have Fuzz Face, which has fuzz in the name.
Yes. I mean, when you turn it all the way up, it is straight up fuzz.
Okay, I want name what you think are the 3 most popular fuzz pedals of all time.
Well, obviously Fuzz Face and Big Muff. And then it starts to get more muddy as far as what people would call out. I would call out a super fuzz.
Okay.
Which is like a splatty, squishy Japanese style.
On the EHX website, it says Big Muff Pi Distortion Sustainer.
Yeah, they marketed it as a distortion for a long time. It's a fuzz.
Yeah. The Big Muff Pi, it says, the NYC original Hendrix and Santana were among the first to get a piece of the pie. And for over 40 years, the Big Muff Pi has been defining the sound of rock guitar. So this isn't like a new thing for manufacturers.
No. And I think of the use of the Big Muff through the 90s, and it was used as a distortion in a lot of ways.
So I mean, my point being, like, I think there is a perception there that
I think the use is the big defining.
I think maybe for Jesper asking this question, you know,
you didn't want to do this topic, and you're so involved in it now.
Yeah, because I'm being antagonistic, and I'll be antagonistic.
I know.
Hi, Chelsea. Shout
outs.
Like I just think this is something where the manufacturers have always defined kind of the niche that they think it should fit in.
Right.
And there have always been pedals. I think there are certain pedals that squarely fit in, you know, a box that, you know,
sure. Like a super fuzz is just a fuzz. It's not a distortion. It's
right.
not an overdrive.
But I also think like,
but then a Big Muff can be a distortion, and a Fuzz Face can kind of be overdrivey.
And I think even if you take something like a Tube Screamer, which is a quintessential overdrive pedal.
When I really listen to a Tube Screamer, I hear a distortion with a clean blend.
Interesting. Because where I was going is, if you take a Tube Screamer, or, well, I guess a DS1 is a distortion.
I think of the DS1 as the distortion.
As the distortion. But if you take a DS1 or even a Tube Screamer and you max the gain, and roll off the tone, maybe you're not all the way fuzzy, but you're starting to you're starting to venture.
One of my favorite tricks when I had a stock DS1 is you'd turn the tone knob all the way up, fully bright, and then turn the tone knob on your guitar all the way down, and it would sound like a fuzz.
Yeah. And then even in this question itself, it says some people call the Rat a fuzz. It's a distortion that gets thick, but never square away fuzzy. But one of the most popular applications of the Rat is, oh man, have you ever tried like turning up the volume and then just rolling the gain knob like basically all the way down?
You get an overdrive.
Like, lots of people are using the low gain settings. On the Rat.
That's been a big trick
for whatever.
I understand in like rockabilly and kind of 20-year country sorts of sounds is using a Rat with the gain way low.
Yeah.
Way low, because it gives you this EQ character and some grit and some dirt on the edges there. I mean, it really does come down to the use. It's not the product itself, it's how you use it. That's, I think, what we've discovered in our little discussion here, Steve. Last ad, and we'll get out of here. If we can find it.
I'm found that apparently one of my children has been taking pictures of her feet.
Uh-oh.
On the iPad. I think that's my youngest. I hope
It
that's
sounds
my
like they
young
were
guess.
walking around trying to watch something and accidentally pressing the camera button over and over
No,
again.
she doesn't watch things on the iPad. She was just pushing the camera button over and over again.
Okay, so this is from Seattle Music Gear Group.
Yeah, this was sent in
Posted
by Alex Booth.
I
Who-
can say names too, Steve.
Oh, are you going to read this?
Hey, you go for it. You're better at reading.
Killer Head. 2003 JCM. Hidden information. That's what?
I don't know, man.
With head. Killer Head. Kind of hate to sell it, but I've got too much debt. No kidding.
Killer Head sounds like the title of like a Skinamax horror movie.
Was this
I bet it exists already. This is why you stick around.
Clean Channel?
An hour and a half into a disjointed, awful podcast.
Clean Channel has been modded to be more like a JCM 800. Has a classic tone output transformer. Sorry, don't have a better picture right now.
Yeah, you
Yes, because the best picture you had was through the side door
Yeah.
of your white windowless van.
It's only white on the inside. Who knows what it is outside?
No, it's white on the outside. You can see the
Okay.
outside.
Oh, yeah, you can see a little bit of it right there.
Of your Marshall head, a high watt combo, a Galen Kruger backline 4x10, and your bed.
A dirty mattress on the floor of a van, which has a guitar case on it, cardboard box, a bottle of pills on top of the Marshall, an SD1 up there, more junk all around, a water bottle. Like, this guy is living out of his van. Is the situation.
Okay, best case scenario. This was a touring van for some band that did one West Coast tour.
He got stranded.
The bed is back there because, like, basically one person would sleep, one person would drive, the other person would make sure the driver wasn't falling asleep. They would rotate every, like, 3 hours or whatever.
I'm not trying to make fun of someone who's in a financial situation, because that's what this person is. They're living out of their van.
Oh, yeah.
But the photo, you have to admit, is hilarious. Like, yeah, just climb on in there. Go get the amp. And then the doors slam behind you. And you hear the click of the lock, and you realize they got me.
Oh, no, dude, you don't hear...
The van murderer got me by baiting me with guitar gear.
You don't hear it because as soon as you reach into plugging your guitar, you're getting bricked to the back of the head.
Oh, man.
Y'all got bricked.
It's just a funny photo until you think about someone being in a really awful financial situation.
This is just rough. But like, and I look at this and I think, what is this situation? Like, why? You know, the obvious question is,
he's a musician. He's broke, dude.
Why didn't you take the amp out of this and put it on like a park bench? And then take the picture and then put it back in your van. Put it on the hood of your van. Take the picture.
Yeah. Stand on top of your van playing the amp.
Stand by your van.
There's been a lot of hot bangers as far as musical drops in this episode.
Yeah, dude, I love singing. If you guys want to hear an episode where it's just me making references to a bunch of songs, well, it's not really up to you, but I would love to get suggestions of other songs.
What if we made it a Patreon reward where every time someone joins the $10 level, you record yourself singing a song for them?
We should do that.
There's an idea for the new year. Steve's wheels are turning now.
We will record a video, a Patreon exclusive video of me playing on guitar a song. So,
you don't even have to play guitar. I'm just saying you sing a song. As many lyrics as you can remember.
Oh, so I don't practice it. I just do it.
Just let it fly, dude.
Some of those videos are only going to be like 15 seconds long.
And you're not going to post these anywhere. You're going to send them directly to that person.
No, they're just going to be on the Patreon for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think this is good. I think this is a good Patreon gift.
Let's get out of here. Tell us about the song,
I
Steve.
have been trying to think of things that we can put on our Patreon. Like
Do it, man.
Excuse me. Yeah, so this song was sent in by Johan Emmett. He says,
That's what he said. He burped rudely into the microphone.
I tried to. All right. Well, anyway. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Thank you for the Topanga review. You've made me a believer, and now I'm in search of one. Before upgrading, I was using the FRV1 in combination with the Pearl Echo Orbit for a minor slapback. I think I'm reading the wrong one.
Yeah, he sent a newer one.
Oh, okay. I'll follow over. In combination with the Pearl Echo Orbit for some minor. Is that like a vintage pedal?
The Pearl?
Yeah, Pearl Echo Orbit. I'm not familiar
I don't
with
know.
that one.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
I was recording some surf songs in the studio, and I found I had to redo 3 songs because of the stingy high notes that the FRV produced. Stingy.
Yeah.
Is it stingy?
Probably stingy. Yeah, it gets very brittle.
My band is called Masters of the University.
I love it.
So
he sent a video link in that email, and I told him to send an MP3, and he sent that today. But it's
the theme from He-Man.
Yeah, it's like a surfy, rockabilly-ish kind of cover of the He-Man theme, and it's a bunch of fun. And I love the band name, Masters of the University. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, this is going to be fun. He says, "Here it goes." Ryan responding, he says, "Here goes. May the power of Grayskull protect you." Did you watch the She-Ra reboot?
I haven't yet.
You should. It's very
I have foggy
it's very fun.
I have foggy memories of that whole franchise.
The original She-Ra is also on Netflix, but I chose not to expose my 9-year-old to that. Only the rebooted LGBT friendly version. Highly controversial choices that I make with my life.
Steve is really
enjoy this song.
Controversy over here. Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry freaking Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Our next episode will actually be on New Year's Eve.
Dang, we're hitting all the eves.
Yeesh.